Now that we've seen the damage that can happen to the fuel pump, the fuel filter, which is a disposable item, is the next piece or component to suffer the damages of water or other contamination. If you happen to have a way to safely cut the filter apart, it is a good time to look to see what is in there. You will find water molecules, you'll find blobs of water in droplet form, you'll find brass, you'll find other dirt, black contaminants. That is all fuel. If the filter itself becomes contaminated badly enough, high pressure will build up behind, right here, in the filter itself, and it will drive the water right through the filter matrix. The filter matrix is not a chamois type filter. It is not designed to stop water. It's designed to slow it down to the point at which you change it or get rid of it. High pressure fuel pumps, as these are, will force the fuel pressure and water right on through, because it is just liquid, obviously. If that liquid pressure is great enough to force the water up to here and it lands at the end of the injectors during freezing weather, it will expand and destroy the end of the injector instantly. Well, it's not so instant, but it's overnight. You can have a perfect running car the night before, leave it out in freezing weather, and come away with no injectors the next morning. The way that this happens is people call up and say they've got a no start, the car won't start, they haul it in on a wrecker, we bring it into a nice warm room and it thaws out, sure enough starts up and runs. And that can happen with everything from the fuel pump freezing up because of water, the matrix within the fuel filter freezing up because of water, each of the injector tips freezing up. But then again, the cold start injector gets the whole thing started, so if that one's plugged up, nothing's going to run. The one thing to keep in mind is that there is no way of ever getting away from water. Water condenses in all kinds of tanks. It condenses in your tank. It condenses in the tank that you bought the fuel from. If a fuel company sells less fuel than the guy next door, he's going to keep his tanks down as low as he can so he can keep a full tank of fuel when a new tanker arrives. If he orders up 8,000 gallons of fuel and only can take 6 of it, he has to pay the freight on those 2,000 gallons on the way back. He doesn't want to do that. So he's going to run that tank down to nothing before he orders new fuel. Well, in the meantime, that tank is sweating, and as the fuel goes down to the bottom of the tank, reputable, responsible fuel station operators will dip check their tanks routinely, and hopefully they'll evacuate the water if it ever gets to the point where it shows on their litmus strips that they have water in their tanks. Oftentimes it's not done for a variety of reasons, and the result is you and I get water. When we get water, it's one of the toughest things to prove. I will tell you that from words of experience, you're never going to convince them they're the ones that gave you the water. They're going to tell you got it in the last 4 tanks that you've been running from every other place. So just a word to the wise, avoid the water as best you can, and the way to do that is to keep your filters clean on a routine basis. I buy filters a dozen at a time, and buy a good filter. If the filter has a plastic top on it, I've had difficulties with those plastic top. The glue wants to come loose and the filter element falls out from underneath them. But it has a steel top like this one we're looking at here, flat metal top. That is a reproduction of an original equipment filter, and I've never had a problem with one of those filter elements falling away from the attachment here. But if it has a plastic top on it, I recommend that you get one with a steel top on it. There are a lot of manufacturers who are reboxing these filters. There are built very few manufacturers of the filter, a lot of sellers of the filter. So before you buy that filter and take it home, pop the box open and make sure that it has a metal top on it instead of a plastic top. That's just a good word to the